I love getting into this box set to see some of these old shorts I hadn't seen before. So, more from Laurel and Hardy, and we're into a film now called Early to Bed from 1928. It's a short film, and again, this one is based on blackmail. All the DVDs in this box set are, there's a feature, then there is related shorts, and there's usually a theme on every disc. The disc we're on now, blackmail. 1928, short film. Finishing the films of blackmail, actually. This film starts out with a more familiar version of Stan and Ollie. This seems to have been the year where they started to settle into the double act that we all know and love. Plus, Stanley has this little dog in this film. We open the film, Ollie's discovered he's just become rich, and Uncle's left him a fortune. Stanley gets upset, wondering what will happen to him. Now Ollie's got all this money, but Ollie says, okay, you can come and be my butler. So we cut to Ollie's mansion. It's his birthday. Stanley's made him a cake. Just as Stanley has everything ready, Ollie arrives home, blazing drunk. He decides to have some fun with Stanley by ringing the doorbell, hiding. Stanley goes out of the house to see who's ringing the bell. Ollie sneaks in, locks Stanley out. There's a great comedy fall. Stanley goes to hit the door hard with his shoulder. Ollie opens it at the last moment. He falls in. Ollie tells Stan that he's met the most beautiful woman in the world, plus she's got a beautiful maid for Stan. Ollie's that happy, he's dancing around the house singing, but Stanley tells him to be quiet. Dog's sleeping. Ollie runs to see the dog. The dog jumps out of his bed, launches itself into Ollie's arms, knocking him to the floor. There's lots of stupid little routines they got in this film. There's a great routine of Stanley trying to fill the dog's water bowl from a garden fountain that keeps turning off on him, and there's heads all around the fountain that are moulded on Ollie's head, and it's like a fountain, circular, and there's all these like heads right the way around it. Hilarious. Knew where it was going to go as soon as I seen it, but we'll just have to wait for that. Things get funnier and funnier as the work-weary Stan tries to get a very drunk Ollie to go to bed. Stanley, after being wrestled to a count out by Ollie, gets that upset. He starts crying and moaning. I'm only trying to do my duty. Stanley heads off to bed, leaves Ollie to his own devices, but he no sooner starts to fall asleep, the drunk Ollie turns up in his room to torment his happiness even more. Stanley's had enough of Ollie's nonsense at this, and he tells him, that's it, I'm leaving in the morning, but Ollie says, you can't leave, I won't let you. This is where the blackmail starts to come in. Next morning, Stanley and the dog arrive in Ollie's room. Stanley gives him the bill for his services. Ollie just crumples it up, throws it on the floor. He's saying, you're not quitting, I'm not going to let you. Stanley decides to play him in his own game, and he's like, I'll make you fire me instead. Ollie just laughs at Stanley. Frustrated at Stanley, he just starts kicking furniture and whatnot. Ollie keeps laughing at him, and then eventually Stanley knocks over a small table by mistake. Then Ollie gets upset then, and he barks, be careful, you're going to break something. So this gives Stan an idea to get himself fired. Stanley he begins to break things all over the house, which erupts into a blazing fight between the two of them, which wrecks most of the house. During the fight, Stanley falls face first into the cake he made the previous night. Ollie doesn't see this happening, but when he comes in, Ollie thinks he's gone crazy and that he's foaming at the mouth. It's just the cake all over him. Ollie jumps into this fountain at this stage. There's a brilliant part where Ollie knocks one of the heads off the fountain and sticks his own head in place of it. And that's brilliant. Like the way the water comes out of the fountain as it's coming out of the mouth. So Ollie can put his own head on there, and he's got a mouthful of water, and he's spraying it out, and Stanley's kind of like, he's not sure, but he has like those like coal shovels, the long ones, the wee, it's called spade shovel, whatever it is, and he hits the odd head to see if normally you have to do that there to get the fountain to work again, and keeps batting these different heads, gets the real Oliver's head, keeps hitting it, but then Ollie eventually starts laughing and comes out of the fountain, and they kind of end the film off with just more or less, just kind of like, kiss and make up, really, at the end of the film. That is such a quick description of this film, in no way does it justice. I love, as I said in yesterday's video, I love getting into this box set to see some of these old shorts I hadn't seen before. And this one here, I prefer the sound movies, you actually hear them speaking and whatnot. I'm not a major fan of the silent films. I can get in there, watch them for the sake of seeing them because I love Laurel and Hardy. But, I can take them or leave them most of the time. But this one, I've done it no justice really. I'm talking about it here, but this one here is absolutely fantastic.